And today is a MENA Roundtable for the Roof Over Our Heads campaign. And I do believe that we can do a lot of amazing things together, especially in the MENA region, which is one of the most vulnerable regions to global climate change. And it is impacted already by climate disasters. And I do believe that the Roof Over Our Heads campaign can help these communities to live a better quality of life. And what is so special about this gathering is that we have stakeholders from all the chain of the building sector. So this is our time to work together and to think together and come up with ideas together to create a better quality of life for the people who really need it, for our communities as well.
So we have to be challenging our systems that if 30 to 50% of the world's population in urban areas lives in slums, then there's something wrong with the system that criminalizes their existence. And the reality of more and more people coming into an urbanized world requires us to transform what is the role of the state, what is the role of the community, what is the role of professionals. And I think that this campaign allows us to go beyond our professional niches to actually see whether we have the courage to sit with women and work with them. The MENA region has very, very extreme and difficult circumstances, and that a lot of organizations there have somehow been able to do amazing things in some locations, but we all have a lot to learn from each other.
In my work in Egypt, I have seen how much money the poor have invested in housing. And it may start out as shacks, but it eventually leads to some very solid brick and cement housing. That poses a problem, of course, because there's no land tenure, because there's a constant tug with the government about how they're squatters and that they've illegally taken land that doesn't belong to them. So is there a dialogue about land tenure? Not yet. But they want to be part of the negotiation, to negotiate how their neighborhoods change, and then to be respected for their know-how and to be treated as equal partners, because what they kept saying was, we have money. We want to put our money in improving this. We were the ones who built this in the first place. All of this housing stock that you see, 60% of Cairo, by the way, was paid for privately by us. So don't treat us like indigent people. We are a can-do type of community, and include us in the conversation.
As we all know, it's our vulnerable populations, particularly those in informal settlements, who are most at risk from these social, economic, environmental, but health challenges as well. We know that international cooperation is essential for us to generate finance for adaptation within climate finance, as well as mitigation, and manage those costs and the benefits. And that's something that we can support and facilitate as far as we can through our global network of green building councils and our international members and partners.
When you get into the bottom-up approach, now what you are trying to do, you are trying to involve everybody within the slum in the solution. And this will give some kind of sense of belonging and ownership. And this is very successful for one reason. This kind of case, if it is implemented in one pilot project, I'm sure it will be spread naturally to the rest. And then we don't want to say the government is the one who should do the slum development. No, we are, as a civil societies, as a people, as a private sectors, as investors, as a government, will work together to upgrade the slums.
This campaign actually rings a lot of bells for us at the Net Foundation, and is very close to our hearts when we first read about it. So while we don't work with informal settlements in cities, we work with vulnerable remote communities in peri-urban and rural environments whose housing is not in any way equipped to deal with the increasing rain, the increasing heat that that has been we've been seeing.
I see with my eyes now in the rural areas, slums, that every year we have a huge area unplanned, ugly houses, people are living there, and the future generations also coming, so it will grow and grow and grow. So if we started from schools, because I'm coming from educational perspective, and I believe that education will change everything. The entrepreneurship skills and competences, education in schools, and of course the kids will change the world if we take care of it.
I very carefully hear the call for change at scale, and I think that this is the core concept that we want to work with. If we are to really work together on this, we need to identify the target groups that are going to benefit from the different approaches. Some will benefit the local communities, others will really need to address the housing production, be it the government, being the private sector, be it the informal sector contractors themselves, because these are the people that really do the houses at the end of the day. These are the people that would benefit from new materials and would really understand and be able to replicate and scale up the use of such innovative materials.
So it's clear that there is a huge need for collective effort, for fair and equitable distribution in space of valued resources and opportunities to use them.
Increase the green areas in every country, in the slum areas, residential areas, that will reduce the heat in a very high percentage in their homes.
I think we should focus on construction, on design, on defining standards for those people to build affordable houses. So I think as engineers, we need to look at this dimension.
And here is our role as an engineering consultancy and private sector and engineers in general to find innovative solutions that are really implementable on the ground. And from our perspective and from our expertise, our role will be to really transfer the knowledge that we already have from our work all over the region.
We want to look at new technology, new materials that are affordable, and where the people who construct and design houses get new potential possibilities of doing things differently. In the climate change and adaptation space, there has been a lot of challenges of making deliveries of resources, of knowledge, of technology to poor communities. And studies have shown that the amount of money allocated for adaptation is minuscule compared to the need, but that even that money doesn't actually reach those who are poorest. And so I'm hoping that all of you amazing, committed institutions and individuals will lead the way in demonstrating how your own ongoing work brings in communities through these new processes, and that you all become part of this global network, which we hope will do intensely local negotiations and dialogues and develop solutions that we can then share across regions, across continents, so that those that can be appropriated, adapted, learned from, are taken from everybody. And we develop ways by which we challenge institutions that are supposed to give money to poor people to access these kind of ideas and resources. And we look at what stops them from giving these kind of things. So I want to stop here, but all of you are now champions of Roof Over Our Heads. And I want to thank Dar for giving us the space to be there. And thank you so much for feeling that you want to be part of this process. So thank you all and goodbye.